It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead I became part of their story.
So it wasn't a dream after all.
Ah, you're up. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. There. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those source spells of yours? See what happens.
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade back into your soul like rain into the earth.
My, look at the concentration on your face. All will, but no result. There you have it, see? The collar's function. It neuters you, of sorts. Makes you for your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's.
Indications of a struggle.
Good gods. There's been a murder.
A young magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you pass.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this.
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Finn was killed by Source. If a Magister could do that, There wouldn't be a Magister. It looks more like a passenger managed to slip their collar. And the rest, well, you see the evidence in front of you. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up in front of a uniform. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Not in here, it isn't. You let me know if you hear anything. Whoever did this is dangerous. No marks, no indications of a struggle. Who? Who?
Be good, you scallywags.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old wig.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like. Rolling dice. Deciding fates. Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
Jill, is that right? I've a few questions for you.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers. As everyone lay sleeping, you lay awake thinking of someone back home. You were reminiscing about the things you used to do together. Of course it is. The truth's right there. But don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe with me. I don't lick and tell.
Yes, over time,
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
I'm busy watching for clues, sorcerer. Go take your sub-story somewhere else.
Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magister's more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp Ifan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He winks.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion. Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from interested parties. No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good...
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. The Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No, wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself. Easy now. I might think the same, but Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he...
What are you conspiring about over there? You? What's your name?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
Name?
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out...
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows the notebook back in his voluminous robes.
Away with you, at once.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans...
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms faced. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
He turns his head toward you, looking you up and down, and smiles before turning his...
You look like a boy to me. Listen if you're interested, or get gone if you aren't. The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood...
And? Sick as a leper's cat. From the state of it, I'd say she's being cared for by a bunch of beardless... But there's more. Listen close. There now, just like that. Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back.
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news. No, you beautiful idiot. That wasn't any rat. It was the wheel. Squeaks whenever the helmsman... Burn my beard. That means if we've been travelling for... Yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy. Ah, so you've eyes as well as ears, eh? You'll go far, mate. Even here. No indeed, boy. But that ain't my final...
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily.
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy. You one of them? A Divine Order loyal? They killed a sorcerer, you know. They'll hide the evidence.
Do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty.
Well, well. What have we here? A fresh face in this state.
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of...
There's some discoloration, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook? Goodness gracious me, what a bore. Off!
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
I spent my life singing for my... Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honey...
Carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? Insufferable, surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it
You
quiet.
look like my daddy. Please, please, please. That's enough now.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us would kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you...
The hatch is blocked. I'll need to find another way. That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up. His big he reaches out and takes your hand, turning it this way and that, examining it from every angle.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
I am reading. Is this not evident? My book is in my hands. My face turned away from you.
He grabs a metal plate and watches his reflection with one eye as the other shifts left to right and...
No, they are working quite adequately. It seems you are at fault. Predictable, really. Ah, yes. The niceties. My name is Fane. I am a scholar from... It is pleasurable to meet you. Is there? Wherever do you keep? Certainly not in your books. I have been reading this one for several minutes, and I have yet to find a single insight into the mysteries of the universe. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather... Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Oh, please. I have no interest in that. No. I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about... This text tells me that they created all creatures. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind? Of course you don't have any useful information. Now, please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
No amount of pestering will get the elf to take his eyes off his book or respond to your...
Mad? Insufferable, surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet.
Here to register, sir. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the... You faring okay so far?
He tugs the collar of his uniform and...
Sorry you're upset, sir. But we all wear what... You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
On a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right up with the side of the ship.
And if she tries to run, shoot to kill. You seem on edge, officer.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their...
So you admit it, then? You murdered that poor fella? Yes, I did. But of course that was...
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
What's happened?
You pass through the door and are suddenly face to face with an undead. His skull is bizarrely angular, and a glorious jewel sits in the middle of his forehead. The skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia.
No, no, no. What damn fools record knowledge? It catches fire. It turns into must when wet. It cannot even resist.
The skeleton looks up and notices you for the first...
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
The skeleton groans and looks back to his book, frantically flipping from
Yes, indeed. It's the look of someone that wants to read the bloody... Now, if you're really quite finished, I believe you have lifeboats to flee to. Please, I was no more an elf than you are those rags you're wearing. I had a mask, rather ingeniously designed, which allowed me to take that primitive form. A mask that was stolen by that damned witch after her little seed. Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead hands.
The skeleton holds up his book in one quick,
I am trying to discover, and I will be damned if I let the lives of some mayfly... Go on, go, swim or drown or do whatever takes your fancy.
I didn't do nothing, okay? It was one of them. One of your people. Human.
The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor. His great beard twists. You hear a faint thud, thud, thud. He's alive.
You're a human, like me. That means we're friends already. My mum told me not to make friends with lizards and elves and... Do you know Losa? She's a really good...
The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a...
What happened? Must have been the turnips. Water? Wine, for goodness sake!
The lizard's eyes close as he slips into unconsciousness. You shake the lizard by the shoulder.
Do you mind? I'm really rather...
Long before this thing snaps into splinters. of this wreck, and quick!
Mind? I'm really rather busy.
Was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You don't recognize the symbol, but you press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but it doesn't budge. The door groans open, but an ashen shadow clouds your mind.
Go on, kid, climb up there and jiggle the rope.
You do it.
Shut your trap, kid. Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
You said there were other people down there. We need to...
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
Thank you! There's a ladder right over there. You can go...
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear? Perhaps you won't be big mouthed.
Never leave someone behind.
The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a dire-looking wound.
Get yourself up the ladder. Wait! Find Woken!
Woken was supposed to be scary.
I've faced worse.
Let the games begin.
They who are about to triumph salute you.
These beardless bugs won't sink the ship on my watch.
don't have much time.
Let's head above decks for some air.
I hear something. It's...
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
Those Voidwoken made short bloody work of the ship. Am I the lone survivor? This must be Fort Joy.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eyes, his chin, the...
I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. Why? I guess. Well, the people who put me here are human, and the people who took my parents away are human too. Are you a sorcerer? One of those guys that brings the bad void things here?
The child looks at you straight on, unafraid, searching your face. He lifts his mirror to his nose.
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong or crazy. No one cares where I go. They know I can't leave the island. It's nicer out here than inside anyway. But you didn't die. I guess I am, but it's just normal to be scared. Nowhere isn't scary. There isn't anywhere safer. That's what I mean. You'll see.
Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn. They've made it to shore. Collars were supposed to keep those things at bay. Drowned and eaten by a Voidwoken. I wonder in which order.
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is of a bright, blood-red color. Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with his, two smouldering...
I did survive, yes. And chances are I wouldn't have, had you not returned to the aid of your fellow passengers down in that. You have my gratitude.
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than a nod, though less than a bow.
Yes, I'm sure you've all the makings of a hero and all that, but let's not get carried away, shall we? Now then, if there's nothing further... I'm sure I don't mean to sound condescending, but I had thought it quite self-evident I was gazing out over the...
He sighs dramatically.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Memories. Quite so.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the waves...
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the... What do you mean, what do I mean? I mean just what I say. I had a very actual empire that I...
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stared...
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? Oh, may the seven have mercy on their own... I am the Red Prince. The Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent...
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering and world. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never truly. A kind offer indeed. And you've already proven to be trustworthy enough. You came back for the... Fine, I accept. On one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer, one of the mystics of my kind. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend... Jolly good. So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out, it goes without... As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you? Do not take my elegance as a mask for frailty. My blows shatter shields, and my thrusts pierce armor. If a warrior you need, the warrior you'll have. I offered the perfection of the blade. Very well. Onwards, then, to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between courtesy and
Now, as you're aware, you'll be traveling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, or if you're as your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required to carry my belongings. Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest as we go. So, without further ado... Quite right. Do seek my counsel. I highly recommend it.
I never want to set foot on a stuffy
A
old
black
boat
cat.
ever again.
Hello, Kitty.
Never.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with its eyes clear, and it shakes its head,
Hey, mister. It's a lot nicer here than that stinking boat, huh? I'm sure glad you went back to save the others. Saw one of them wringing out their tunic at the shore a few hours ago. Say hi for me. Ooh, that's a pretty one.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey. It appears confused, and yet somehow compelled to
I never want to set foot on a stuffy old boat ever again. Never. 1, 2, long dead in the crew. 3, 4, pretty shells on the shore.
I told him I'd known exactly. Didn't I? We already know the truth, Magister. Now speak.
You there? I'm looking for an inmate. He wears a large bronze ring with a dragon stamped into it. Name of Migo. Have you seen him? None of your business, inmate. Find me if you hear of a Migo.
Fella's got more right hands than an octopus.
Any Verdus? We already know the truth, Magister. Now speak.
Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speaks.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing of any escaping.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use. Cut it out.
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come.
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Stay silent, you!
Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes squeeze shut. Drops of blood form against the dagger's edge.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. To think you would lie to his only son. The fate of our realm hangs in the balance. If you will not help us save it, then you will... Dallas?
Yes, Your Holiness?
I believe we're done here.
What a waste.
Come, we'll be needed elsewhere.
Come on, old man. I can't wait all day.
Did you see him? You did, right? Those claws. Wonder what's behind the masks, too. Can't be pretty. That Magister, that was Bishop Alexander, leader of the Divine Order, and his right hand, Dallas. How do you not know this? What, have you been living under a boulder? Alexander's the Divine. Liberated my hometown from the Black Ring, he did. He never had such... Now why don't you move along and settle in? A Magister will come and find you and...
I told him at noon exactly, didn't I?
Come on then, Lexi. Pay up.
I find I need bread.
Did you see them, sir? Bishop Alexander and the Hammer herself, they were so close, almost within arm's reach. You don't know them? Oh, remarkable. Bishop Alexander is the son of the divine. They are all that stand between you, me, and the void. And they were right here just a moment ago, attending to some business. Then you prove yourself ignorant, sir. The void woken are drawn to source. With these collars on, no source can flow from us. We are safer.
I will not.
You believe this, Canna?
This is not your business, Long Pig.
Don't let this moss muncher talk to you like that. Especially a cheap.
An intense-looking man steps between the thug and the elf and rolls up his sleeves, revealing well-muscled and heavily scarred arms. You recognize him. It's if...
Just stand aside, won't you, mate? This is...
Lone wolves decide their own business.
The thug freezes in fear for a moment, before shuffling back to the protection of his crone.
Pay up, elf. No one shorts Griff. Especially not one of you. Everyone in camp's got to contribute. For food, for protection.
Food? Protection? I have neither.
Burrow looks you both up and down, sizing up your combined...
Ah, get out of here. The both of you. You ain't worth the sweat of my...
The elf smiles and bows to you in thanks.
Follow me, before more of them trouble us. There is a safe place.
A little reprieve from the din outside.
You are in the wrong place, Pinky. Do stop gaping. Anything can be procured. That's for you to decide.
No one tells me there are so many children in this Fort Joy. Your kind stay in this cave a while.
The young girl's eyes are covered, but she turns toward you when you...
Ah, hello. I see you come a long way. I see it before my eyes. You do, someday. It is not so bad. I know which days have bread and which days... Your life is not your own. Your life is for us all. I cannot say more.
Her eyebrows shoot up.
There can be a way. Amiro knows. But he is gone. Do you see him? My protector, my friend. An elf like me, with a spirit bright as new leaves. He tries to help. He is caught by those who hurt him. I wish so much for his return. And he tells you what you seek. A way out. You bring me great peace. Thank you, my friend. I see something that helps. I see a lizard. Yes, please ask. Oh, I do not cover my eyes. I cover the place they used to be. He is a very blind man. You understand when you meet him, after you escape. It is safer here. We make no trouble for Griff. He makes no trouble. My home is far. Your language gives me some trouble. I knew we must be here. I am not sure how much to explain. You're cheating! I feel him, but I do not see him.
Thank you for your help with that, thug. Rare is the human who goes against their own.
She bows.
I hear of no escapes. The only way out is through. Through the Magisters, through their cure. Thugs, I can stand. In this cave, we trust the healer. She is young, but she sees. She knows. It gives me great pain. I'm with my family. We are making beautiful magic. Wait, before you go, I am not here without your help. I do not forget this. For you, a prize. I save it for a special occasion, but thank you.
Whoever kills the other is the boss! Sure. Got you!
I feel him, but I do not see him.
You can't get me!
I am glad to see you. You fill me with peace. Yes, please ask. I knew we must be. Oh, I do not cover my eyes. I cover the... He is a very blind... You understand when you meet him, after you escape. It is safer here. We make note. My home is far. Your language gives...
Go find a little one to bother.
The dog focuses at the cat at your feet, baring its teeth and growling.
So this is Fort Joy.
A delivery. Surely you'll have one.
What a crumbling disaster.
Scram, snake face. Hmm? Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm...
Worse than war rations, these.
Easy, eh? What's your hands, Pipsqueak? What are you loitering round here for? Out the fort? To where then? The death swamps or the ocean brimming with void-woken? Fat ch... Make it quick. Hell if I know. Don't rightly know if it can be done. If they take the sword, sure. Pal of mine made it as far as the hollow marshes, even. They dragged his corpse back the next day. Head put. I never seen one myself, but me cousin up in Gore said one appeared from the clear sky. Easy, eh?
I got that special shipment you was asking after.
Griff is slowly, methodically peeling the skin from a potato. As you approach, he looks up, setting the potato...
What?
Who's asking?
He smirks and holds the little knife up to the light. What?
I'm listening.
Here's the goods. Like you wanted. Everything there? Good.
Oh, they'll cure you of your sauce. Nightshade will cure you of an headache, too. A Myro. I guess you mean the clown I caught stealing from my kitchen. He's not going anywhere. Caught him red-handed trying to make off with a second crate after he took the first. Went down like a rent boy when we grabbed him. Supplies. A crate of food, citrus in particular. He'll talk, or he'll die quiet. Alls I want is my supplies. Happy to let this clown die in a gutter instead of my kitchen. Bring back my crate, and you got yourself a deal. You already know the terms. Nothing else to say.
Psst. Hey! You're a little light in your pack, ain't you, mate? Who could blame you with the garbage they got? Why don't you take a gander at the goodies I got? Stuff you won't find. Let's just say folks leave here, but they don't seem to take their... Fend for yourself then, sweetheart. I'll take what I want after the Reds get you. Haven't got shanked through the gills yet?
Griff glances from his blade to you and back.
Sure, have a look.
I got that special shipment you was asking after. Everything there? Good.
I know that look well enough. You're about to pop, ain't ya? Why don't you enter a match and let some of that frustration out? You'll find out.
I've got that special shipment he was asking after.
Worse than war rations, these. Leave him be. Don't make me say it again.
Listen, I can help you if you just...
Shut up, elf.
He was asking after.
Got it?
Need something in the... Heading into the kitchen? Don't try anything funny around Griff. Ha! Cheeky. What's your name? All right, Slick. Haven't seen you around here before. When did you get in? I remember that feeling all too well.
Perhaps if those bleeding dwarves didn't eat so much.
You think? I was raised, but joining up with Griff's the closest thing you can get to security around here. Family, too. Till the Reds take you, anyway. Everyone talks a big game when they get here. Big games get smaller when you've got one of their weapons in your face, though.
She laughs. The sound fills the air like the ringing of a bell.
Worse than war rations.
Now, wouldn't that be something? Look, I have an idea. I know we don't know each other very well, but time is so short and a connection is so rare. If we get out of here, will you meet me again in Arks? I have responsibilities here. I can't start running around outside the family. It isn't done. But once we're out of here, none of that will matter. You'll meet me, won't you?
She leans forward and grazes your cheek with her lips.
Until then.
She smiles and gives you a long...
Soon!
Her eyes flutter. She answers in a low voice.
Can't change that now, I'm afraid. No matter. Need something in the kitchen, do you?
She smiles and gives you a long...
Soon! I know what you mean. I can't. Haven't got shanked through the gills yet? Give it time. Got it.
When another divine arises, will source change?
You there. You've just arrived, isn't that right? Are you... It's just... I've a proposition. Something very worth knowing. But it's hardly a group affair. I only need one. Oh, noble. But after the Magisters take you all, you'll... Good luck with your friends, though. Change your mind about my offer yet? Believe whatever you want. This may be your only... Attaboy. Who wouldn't? The plan's simple. Completely foolproof. I have a spell that I can use to teleport you right out of here. I can't use it on myself. There's an artifact that you can use to teleport me out of this place. Then I can use my spell to free you in turn. This item, though, it's in quite an unfortunate location. And how many would make it before the guards noticed? 4? 5? Every bloody sorcerer in this place? Nah, they'll have to take their own chances. I need one accomplice, no more. It's found its way into a nest of crocodilians on a secluded beach nearby. Here, give me your map and I'll show you where to go. Not enough to trouble a fine specimen. Get that artifact, and you and I are as good as free.
When another divine arises, will source change back? What if there are no sorcerers left? That's what happens, isn't it? We find source so dangerous. What is difficult?
Now, let's not get nasty. Reed's better off, I'm sure.
Keep a name out of your mouth, Albert.
Please, excuse us.
You're talking to me, not him.
Oh, for the love of Lucian Baladin.
Say it again. What you said about my wife. Go on. Go on, Sam.
Well, it's the truth, and you know it. She's better off. So what if it was messy?
A flat smile twitches across Baladier's lips.
She never did like you.
The man looks for a moment at the corpse at his feet, then turns back toward the nearly finished
Don't feel too bad. The fella had no decency. If you don't have that, you don't have anything to live for.
He nods at you and turns...
Bastard.
Patience, Mal. Patience. Patience.
Amid the squalor of Fort Joy, you suddenly spot an elf with diamond features, regal and radiant, but cold. She was the one who sat rolling dice in the ship that went under, deciding. Her eyes are focused on a lizard some distance away. And you get the distinct. No sooner have these words left your mouth than she turns about and grabs you in a stranglehold. You feel the tip of a long needle being put.
You caught me off guard. No one catches me off guard. Better tell me who you really are, or this time, I'll let my needle do the licking. Not so very far from home, I'm sure. This is the turf of Magister.
A push, a pivot, and now you suddenly face her. The needle still all too deeply embedded in the. Despite the precariousness of your situation, you note.
Let me tell you a little story. Once upon a bad old time, a lizard, but now I'm free, of sorts. And I've traced. I intend to raise the subject with him. No!
She drives the needle in deeper and whispers.
In truth, it does not matter in the least who you really are. You saw me mark my prey. You could warn him, save him, or that makes you a liability. That makes you needle feed.
A bright sparkle of laughter follows your proposal.
Ha! How amusing. I admit I had not seen that twist coming. Make your case and do it quickly. Why should I join you? Escape? How you do tickle me. Most of the misguided deers around here would argue such a thing is impossible. Well played. Oh, little needle mine, what should I do? Push or pull? You know what? Today is a rather fine day. Sunshine and an easy breeze. Yes, I'll let you live. I'll even agree to I'm not quite sure the weather will save him.
With a casual flick of the wrist, she withdraws the needle from your neck and smiles, as if she just
Let's discuss our respective roles then. You, me, and Death will be playing many a round of hide and seek. So, what role would you like me to... As a rogue, my speciality is stealth, the quick silence of the dagger striking unseen. That said, I'm perfectly lethal wielding any weapon or magic. So, the choice is yours. My grace and finesse could make a cat's fur go green with envy. Go on, give me the details. The quick silence of the dagger, then. Suits me fine. Lead on, or better yet, then follow me.
You're not quite certain you'll ever sleep soundly with Sabine in any sort of proximity, but at least she's on your side. Just as you're about to address the lizard, the Red Prince bars you with an outstretched arm.
This man is a dreamer. As you know, I need a word with him. You may wait here while I speak. Permission indeed.
He bids the dreamer stand up and pay attention, which he does in a groveling and awkward manner. The dreamer then chews and swallows a handful of Drudene leaves before he falls asleep. To your surprise, the Red Prince lies down and follows suit. The Red Prince pinches the bridge of his nose in apparent irritation before turning his back on the jabbering dreamer. You receive a withering glance in response.
A deserved bit of sarcasm, I suppose. But though this stingtail fellow may be a less than stellar specimen in the firmament of dreamers, it turns out I'm being hunted by an enemy I didn't know actually existed. The dreamers, though, they're on my side. And that's because you haven't seen that other world in all its glory. It is majestic. Oh, I was born with the promise of an empire. And that promise, but to keep it, I must find a second dreamer. Bahara is her name, and she resides in the swamplands east of the fort. So, let us make our escape and...
You know, I could tell you all about swamp dreamers too if I chewed that much Drudenay.
Oh, do hold your prickly tongue.
As you're about to approach the lizard, Sabine cups your chin between thumb and index finger, then guides your eyes to hers.
Listen, I need to have a chat with this here morsel of flesh. He has wronged me once, but may just do right by me.
To your surprise, Sabine proceeds to throttle the unsuspecting lizard with one hand as she drives the tip of her needle into his lower belly with the other. You hear him yelp about the master, lone wolves, and a man called... Then, quite suddenly, there's blood everywhere as Stingtail falls to the ground, face first. Sabine heaves a sigh of satisfaction, and as she wipes her needle clean...
Chat's over.
Demon elf, how dare you strike down a dreamer?
Such is my prerogative, Prince. And doubly so, my pleasure. Something on your mind? It's simple. He scarred me, so I scarred him.
She defies you with devilishly innocent eye.
Can you blame me? There it is. I was wondering when your spying would make an appearance. Anyway, what's dead is done, so let's move on, shall we? Despite my high hopes, this scar disfigures me still. The search for the master continues, of course. Hungry work, the hunt. And you know what? Stingtail mentioned a cook, as it happens. A fellow named Griff. 2 birds.
I think this was the crate I was after. Looks like someone made off with most of the contents, though.
Sabine gently places a hand on the small of your bag. Her mouth reaches your ear.
Let me have a word with the gentleman, would you? I've a little clue to follow up on. Come now. No such thing need happen here, provided this man can be reasoned with. But I wasn't going to. He's my chance. Fine. Deny me.
Keep it down, will ya?
Griff glances from his blade to you, and...
You already know the terms.
Griff tears into one of the oranges with both hands. Juice squirts through his hands as he desperately rips through the rind.
Looks like everything's accounted for. Now the important question. Who's the thief?
He raises an eyebrow.
Looks like someone did my job for me. Your guy's free to go. He should be fine.
It is done. And quickly. I thank you. I hold my end of the bargain. I show you Sahela. She is everything. A ruler, a seer, a knower. It is for all our people. Give me your map. I show you the way out. A secret.
I give you this amulet. You must pass it to the elves who still remain. Tell them Sahela is here.
They will... I go to her. I wish you good luck, and I...